Hey y'all, Katie here with Team Evo AZ at eXp Realty in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Welcome to our show, Real Estate Fitness, where we keep your real estate muscle strong by sharing tips and tricks to help you navigate the real estate world. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? And hello, Dana.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Fitness, where we keep that real estate muscle strong because that's important, isn't it?
Very welcome
Yeah.
back.
Your real estate muscle and your regular muscles too, right, Dana? I see you got
You know it.
your gym behind you there.
I wish this was at my house.
It looks pretty awesome. So anyway, diving right into the topic today, Dana, I know this is something that you can personally relate with as well. And word is starting to get out on the street that we specialize in divorcing couples that are homeowners. Now, it can be a very, very sensitive situation, as most of you know, and it's an unfortunate situation in a lot of cases, but something that we've got to help people get through. And we have successfully for many, many years now. It can be very, very delicate, as you know.
Yes, it can. Yes.
So it was funny because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were actually talking about her dad. And her dad was considering selling his home, and he made a comment that all realtors are the same. It doesn't matter. And I feel like that is probably the biggest misconception of our industry, because it is, I mean, how can we be all the same, right? We have different experience levels. We've done different things. We have different education levels. We have different, amount of years under our belt. Like there's so much that's different. It's not like, you go to Home Depot and you're talking to the guy that was trained the same as the guy that you talked to yesterday and the guy that you talked to the day before. We are not all trained the same. It's really a self-motivating, sort of self-directed industry. And if you don't have that under your belt, you don't have, that you don't make it a priority to really teach yourself and really learn and stay on top of things and gain that experience that you need to gain to be able to help people through one of the biggest decisions of their lives, then, I mean, no, not, I guess what I'm trying to say is not everybody's created equally. And those are the biggest reasons why.
And
So
it takes time too to gain that experience and, even partner up with somebody that does have that knowledge and experience and education to navigate these waters, like you said, that are they're very, very sensitive. Sometimes, parties agree and they agree, very well together. Sometimes that is not the case at all.
and
So,
oftentimes it's not the case at all. I
mhm.
mean, how many transactions have we been involved in where it's been extremely volatile, where, spouses they're so hell bent on disagreeing on everything that the whole, house sales process falls into that bucket as well.
It
And
does.
that can be really sticky to navigate. And you definitely need some expertise. You definitely need some um, expansive knowledge as to why people behave the way they do, why people react the way they do, how to, avoid people's triggers, how to recognize and avoid their triggers so that they're not triggered into a tailspin that's going to just totally blow things for everybody. It's so important. I can't even stress it. There are actually 16 things that a divorce specialist realtor should be doing that not all realtors do, or do well for that matter. And we're going to talk about 4 today. So there's going to be another part to this video. So if you like it, keep an eye out for the next one to follow, because I'm going to touch on more, or we're going to touch on more than just these 4 things that we're going to talk about today. But I feel like these things are really important. And one of the big things is valuation of the property. So huge when you're going through a divorce to determine that fair market value of the property, and really have a professional opinion that you'll be sharing with your attorneys, sharing with the courts. It's really, really important because a lot of times, Dana, I mean, one of the spouses at least needs to live on those proceeds while they figure out what the next step is for them, while they figure out their next move. And it can be a really big deal in those negotiations for the actual divorce itself.
100%. And like you said, I think that's one of our strong suits is pricing the property very, very well.
Absolutely. And it's not just about comparable sales.
Mm-mm.
People think, oh, you just look at, the house just like it down the street that just sold, and then bada boom, you got your price. That is not the entire story. You really have to be good at assessing market conditions, and you have to pull that into your valuation. It's super important to have an expert that has done it, like us, over 1,200 times now, to help guide you through that, because so much relies on the valuation of that property. So that's really a big, big deal. It's an art. It truly is. I mean, not every house is the same. If they were, then it would be a lot easier than it is. But there are other factors. There are upgrades. There are lot situations to consider. Again, market conditions, just so many things that go into pricing that I think not a lot of people really think about.
Correct. I agree.
The next big deal is legal and financial expertise. And that's really, knowing when and what to point out is crucial. Knowing who to advise that you speak with is the second part of it. That's also crucial. So having a divorce specialist agent that is immersed in the legal world, in the financial world, has these partners or referral sources that are tried and true that can come in and save the day when necessary, or come in and advise when necessary, is beyond important. Also, knowing how to work with attorneys, because oftentimes we're working with two attorneys, right? And they have personalities too, right?
They
they
sure do.
have agendas too. So knowing how to navigate those waters is really important in order to make a win for both parties. So, meaning the couple themselves. Also knowing how to work with the courts and understanding the court system and why they make the decisions they make is very important too.
Yeah. And I think to your point, we said there's 16 things, we're only covering 4 today. However, knowing what those 16 items are, that if and when you are speaking to attorneys and professionals that, our clients are dealing with, being ready to know the questions they're going to ask.
Giant.
And it's giant. Absolutely.
Being prepared is so huge. And somebody that has been through it a bunch and knows how to advise people through it is going to be a better person to help prepare you.
Correct.
Prepare you to be prepared.
I like it.
Yeah. And something we kind of touched on a little bit, but I'm going to go a bit deeper, is mediation and communication. So really, your divorce specialist agent should be acting as a mediator, and to be able to facilitate open and respectful communication between both parties, especially when conflict arises. And this person should be able to keep themselves calm. How many times have you been involved in a transaction, Dana, where the other agent doesn't have the ability to keep themselves calm and grounded through dealing with conflict?
It happens more frequently than I'd even like to mention. And I was taught a long time ago, business is business. It's not personal, and it's really important to make sure we stay calm, because as soon as we get, heightened, and for whatever reason, our clients get that way. Yep. And so we have to remain calm and professional in this type of setting, because it can get really ugly really fast. So,
Exactly. And then it all falls apart after that.
Correct. Yeah. And that's not what we're here to help with. We're here to hold this thing together and see it through to the end, so everybody can go on with their lives in the next chapter and live happily.
Exactly. And another big piece of that is encouraging both parties to share their preferences and concerns. Because you're obviously disagreeing, which is probably a big reason why you're divorcing. So you're going to have different concerns, you're going to have different preferences, and it's really important that we interpret those and create a win-win atmosphere for both parties. That way they can move forward in the smoothest way possible. And that's, really helpful emotionally and mentally for these people as well.
Yeah, and that starts at the beginning. I think too, when we first meet with our clients, because we want to know exactly, how do they want to communicate and what the expectations are going to be. So there's no confusion and just doesn't get any messier than it needs to be.
Right. That's the big thing, is we don't want it to get any messier than it needs to be, because these things can be very messy and they can be very emotionally draining for all parties involved. So it's really, really important that you got somebody on your side that understands that and can work with that.
Yep.
The last thing that I wanted to bring up, Dana, and I know that this is something that was big for you when you went through your divorce way back when, it was big for me too when I went through mine, is confidentiality and maintaining strict confidentiality regarding personal information and even, financial outcomes for the divorcing party. It's really important to have a system in place. I have had couples that have been perfectly fine with being copied on the same email or being communicated with at the same time, almost as if they were still together, right? Because it's amicable, or, they're consciously uncoupling, whatever it is. And then I have had the other side of the coin where they don't even want their personal contact information shared with the other party. They don't want to sign in the same room together. They don't want it, they want as little information going over to the other party as possible. And it's really important to not blur those lines and to respect them.
Yeah. And like you said, it's just, my gosh, I don't know how I can even express how important that is. And knowing how each person wants their confidentiality to be protected. Because like you said, I went through it and I was like, I don't want you knowing my email, my phone number, where I live, none of that. And that was top priority for me. So again, just knowing the wherewithal to be able to ask those questions to your clients is just so important. And we do that.
Absolutely. And it is top priority for many people. The unfortunate thing is we have worked through a lot of different situations with people, and, some that we come upon are domestic violence situations. Mm-hmm. And it's crucial that the party that, is trying to get away, it's crucial for their safety.
It is.
That those personal details aren't shared.
Correct.
So yep. We know that, guys. We've been through it a ton. If you are here in Arizona, or even if you're not in Arizona and you're in another state and you find yourself in this situation and you're thinking, you know what, I need a divorce specialist on my side in terms of real estate because of these 4 things. And, when you learn the other 12, you're going to feel the same way. Now, then you're going to have 16 things. 16 reasons why you need to find yourself an expert. So our door is always open. You can message us anytime. We are at Team EvoAZ on all across social media. You can find us, message us there. You can get in touch with Dana directly. I've got her contact info here in the show notes, as well as mine. Reach out to us, guys. We are here to help you. We are here to give you advice. We are here to help you prepare for this major thing in your life that's about to happen. And again, if you're not in Arizona, we have contacts all over the country. We've been doing this for a really long time. And so we've got a great little black book, and we are happy to tap that for you and get you a great contact in your particular area. So check us out if you want to see any of our previous episodes. We do have a Divorcing as Homeowners playlist on our YouTube channel. That is at Team EvoAZ. That's our handle on YouTube. Or you can find us on your favorite podcast platform and just do a quick search for Arizona Real Estate Radio, where you'll be able to connect with all of our shows, including those specific to divorcing as homeowners. All righty, Dana. I guess this is it.
See you next time, guys. Thank you.
Bye.